Well, hello and welcome to the Snapdragon Studio YouTube channel. It's lovely to have you here. My name is Jane, and today I am going to be talking about something really close to my heart: online courses, and why sometimes we don't finish them, and why often that is perfectly okay. And the reason that it is close to my heart is that creating online courses is really a big part of what I do. I run the studio, which is a creative community, and that is based around a number of online courses. So I have lots of conversations with members about what works, what doesn't work, where we hit glitches. And really, a lot of what I think about and am doing is to create the best experience possible. So I thought that in this, which is I think, fourth of this series about creative guilt, I would talk about why it is we often buy online courses and then don't finish them, or sometimes don't even start. And in my talks with people in the studio, there seems to be three different kinds of courses in our heads, and different reasons for not doing them. So I'm going to go through them, and I'm going to start with the first, which is the supporting course. Now, often, if we really like a maker and we've looked at a lot of their free material, maybe we've done challenges or watched them grow on Instagram or watching YouTube, things like this, and we appreciate that all of that free stuff isn't possible without support. When something comes along and we're able to buy it and it's not too expensive, then often we do. And it isn't necessarily that we want that course. It isn't necessarily we want to make that thing or learn that particular skill at this particular time. It's that we want to support the maker, the creative, whoever it is. And I had this with a course that I did for charity. 100% of the takings went to a charity. And it was a course to make a little patchwork star. And lots and lots and lots of people bought it. And I know that lots of those people would already know how to make that patchwork star because they were very skilled quilters. There were other people who I know had never picked up a needle at all. I know, because I've seen the pictures, that lots of people did make the star. But I also expect that lots of people did not. They were buying the course because it was a way of supporting this charity. It was a way of supporting me. It was all good things in the world. And with this category, I would just say, leave it. You've done your work. But be very careful that there are no tricky emotions come into this. There's none of the, oh, I didn't finish it. I never finish anything. I always say I'll do something and then I don't. I waste my time. All of those kind of voices that are often in your head. You need to really avoid this, because sometimes that can come and it can kind of surreptitiously ruin your relationship in your own head with that maker, that creative, whose work you have really enjoyed. So with this category, accept it what it is: a lovely, generous way of saying thank you, of supporting a creative. And the second thing that I want to talk about is really someday I'd like to learn how to do that kind of course. And these tend to be courses that are, you have unlimited access. They are to make something particular. It's really the kind of course that you work through yourself. If you're somebody who works really well on your own, you like to teach yourself things, this is probably the kind of course that you're drawn to. And I run a number of these sort of off the back of my bigger projects. The problem comes in actually starting, actually putting the time together. And it's what I tend to call the fantasy February. December at work and personally always used to be incredibly busy for me. It was peak selling month. We had trade shows coming up. There was, Christmas, go carol concerts, parties, everything. And I would start to say to people, let's catch up in February. Let's catch up. Let's do that in February. Let's definitely go for a meal in February. Let's have coffee. Let's go to the cinema. February. It was blank. It kind of seemed quite far away. I was really optimistic about the fact that I would fit all of these things that I really wanted to do into February. I do the same with October. But then you get to February, you've got far too much scheduled on. And that idea of this never, never time with blank space, nothing to do, is a mirage. There is never going to be this open, empty time. It's not going to get suddenly quieter. Life doesn't work like that. And it's really difficult to prioritize an evergreen online course that you just want to do for yourself for pleasure. Putting it up on the calendar, blocking out evenings, it kind of triggers all of those I'm so selfish things. As soon as somebody else asks you to do something, you go, oh, well, that doesn't need to be done then. I don't need to do my creative course. Then I can push it off. And then suddenly it's got to the point that you haven't done any of it. And you're feeling bad, you're feeling guilty, you feel you wasted money, you never finish anything that you start, you often don't start things. All of these things go in your head and you get guilt, which kills creativity. So with these courses, I think that you have a couple of options. One option is to just treat them as the kind of course that you skim through. So number of courses I have bought, and yes, they are to make something particular, but I've just watched the videos, and some of the videos I have watched on double speed just to get a feeling of how things are done. That then kind of informs my own practice, my own making things. But I've never actually made the thing that was thing, and that is fine. I have paid the money for access to the course. I skim watched it. I got value. Second way to tackle it, and this is, I think, particularly if this is a repeat kind of thing that you keep finding yourself caught up in, is to go through all of your emails and find those courses and to put them into one folder and actually look at what you have. See whether there's anything that you can't see yourself doing now, in which case, just delete it. And then look at the others, the ones that you have left, pick one and schedule it into your calendar. Actually say, this is going to take me 12 hours. I want to do it over the next 6 weeks. That's 2 hours a week. Put it into the calendar and stick to it. But be realistic. Don't just say, oh, I'll do it next month because that will be quieter. Pretty much guarantee it will not. So that's how I would deal with these. If none of them appeal to you, just delete the rest. Just delete them all. But make sure that you don't buy any of this kind of course until you are ready to actually properly schedule it into your calendar and make a commitment. There are people in the studio I know who have kind of palled up with friends, and they do courses together, so they can kind of G each other along. And sometimes they can meet up face to face, because obviously a lot of people really enjoy that and work through together. So they've got their own mini little sewing bees. Third type of course, and this is the kind of course that I create most, that I love creating most, and that is the big project course. I love creating courses that are more of a journey. They are a mix of all kinds of things like folklore and diaries and gathering things. A making course that will change you as well as giving you skills. But they go on for a long time. And, you know, in the studio, we have 6-month themes at the moment. And talking to people, the thing that trips people up with these is the feeling of falling behind. Every course that I have run, every course that I have taken that had a group aspect, has always, every week, had people coming in and going, oh, I'm so behind, I haven't done my homework, I don't know that there's any point in me carrying on with this, I never get on with anything, life's just too busy. It is really common. I can tell you that as somebody running these courses, that's the emails that I get a lot of the time. So there are two things. One, a lot of people will be feeling like that. They'll be feeling behind. Two, every course creator I have ever met feels that there is no behind in their course. This isn't school, you know. We're not giving out gold stars for homework completed. Most course creators, if you're bothered about it, you know, get in touch and say, which bits can I miss? Which bits can I watch on double speed? Which bits could I come back to? And get yourself back into some kind of momentum with it. That's why I like things with forums, because then you can see, or lives, you can see that you are not the only person that has missed a week and is now feeling a bit, so I am now about to take a couple of weeks off YouTube. I won't be here next Friday or the Friday after. And one of the reasons for this is that I am putting together the next 6 months project theme. I don't know. I don't really like to call it a course for the studio. And it is called Threaded. And it's based around a folk tale. It's based around making. It's based around midlife creativity and the good things in the world. It's going to be one of these courses that takes us on a journey and responds to what people are interested in, responds to what comes up, because that's the way that I work best. So I'm going to be spending this next couple of weeks doing the samples for the first first making block, making sure that that all works, taking photos, recording some bits. And we start on the 21st, so on the autumn equinox, 21st of September. If you're in the studio, you'll find out a lot more about this before that. And if you're not in the studio and you want to know a bit more about it, there is a sign-up form, which I'll put under here, where I'll just send you an email before we start. It's part of the studio. So actually, by far the most cost-effective way of joining in would be to join the studio. And I'm really, really excited about it. But two things that I am bringing in that I know as a response to talking to people is, one, we're going to have more gap time in between the making bits so that people don't feel that they've missed out. So we will do a couple of making techniques, and then we'll have some gap time so that people can kind of have a play around. You know, the people who are really fast and who are spending a lot of time on it can do variations. They can, you know, there's lots and lots of things they'll be able to do. But also other people who have, you know, been on holiday or had things, just life gets in the way, they will have some extra time. Second thing that I'm doing is I used to have 1 or 2 lives each month in the studio, and now we're going to make that every Friday, 5 p.m. every Friday. Used to be Gin and Crisps time, now it's going to be Studio Live time, and just a great way to end the week, but also for people to have a regular rhythm and get to know what's happening. You don't have to attend every time. I mean, you know, there are replays and so on, but just to keep that rhythm going. So, Threaded, if you want to know more, sign up in the form below, or if you're a member of the studio, you'll get it anyway. If you want to join the studio and do the touchstone pouch or the dyeing threads with food waste, now would be a great time to do that. You've got a couple of weeks spare before we start up actively again. And I will see you in a couple of weeks. Bye-bye.